Good afternoon, people. Watch Woman 65, Lisa Boyce here. Now, I heard, you know what? I've heard it all. I've absolutely heard it all. Now, before I start this video, like I said, I give the news according to what's going on in prophecy and so forth. We know that the days are short. We know that the rapture is imminent. Thank God that the rapture is imminent. Thank God we're on our way out of here because of this. The far left Laodicean magazine, Christianity Today, demands that American Christians, listen to this, pay reparations to blacks for slavery. You heard me. Now, number one, there isn't a black person on the living right now who was a slave or a slave owner. You'd have to be 250 years old, at least. It's just not there. Now, it says here, and this is off of Now the End Begins, it says champions of the far left Laodicean church, a magazine called Christianity Today, that's started by none other than Billy Graham, has decided to throw their hat in the ring surrounding the discussion on racial tensions and domestic terror organization Black Lives Matter. Their solution? American Christian churches need to pay reparations or financial compensation to descendants of black slaves from the 18th and 19th centuries. When all else failed, pay people off. Larry Elder said reparations is a scheme to extract money from people who were never slave owners and give it to people who were never slaves. Look, I'm a black woman. I am not an African American. I am a black woman. I don't have descendants in Africa, and I've never been there, and don't have a desire to go. Just call me what I am. Don't call me a name, though. Call me a child of God. Call me a black woman. That's all. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me take that back. I'm neither black nor white. I'm a child of God. There you go. The Jews who lived through the horrors of Nazi Germany and the families of those who didn't received financial compensation for what the Nazis stole from them and for what they did to the Jews in the Holocaust. But here, 75 years after the end of World War II, those reparations are nearly all ended, and most of the people have died. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you what happened to me today. I went to the doctor, and I had a test done. So my doctor came in, and she said, you know, my knees are hurting because we had a moment of silence here in the hospital for Black Lives Matter. And I said, why are your knees hurting? She said, I kneeled down. I said, you don't kneel down for a Nazi, black, racist group like them. You kneel down for the Lord. Well, guess what she did? She wasn't so friendly after that. She referred me to a nurse practitioner. After I said that, she was ticked, and she referred me to a nurse practitioner. See, she thought because I was black that I was going to give in to that. No, absolutely not. I don't bow to hate groups. I don't bow to no man. We bow to Jesus Christ. And number two, I can't bow down anyway because of my knees and arthritis. It's a figure of speech. We worship the Lord. We don't worship man or any hate organization, especially that one, and Antifa. So she was kind of ticked off. So she referred me to a nurse practitioner after I said that. See, people don't know how to take that, especially coming from another person of color like me. She thought I was going to be all for that. She was wrong. It goes on to say here in this article, reparations are not a bad idea for the generation who was victimized. But when you get decades and centuries down the road, reparations are virtually impossible to rightly calculate. That's not the only problem about reparations. Many blacks now living in the United States are not descendants from U.S. slaves. Absolutely none. And as such, they would receive nothing. Imagine the outbursts of rage and riots from the people who, in their mind, deserve compensation because they're black. Receive none and then have to watch as friends and neighbors do. Then the ones who receive compensation will immediately say, guess what? It's not enough. No matter how much it is to compensate for incalculable pain and suffering, it was just be a money grab given to angry black people in the hopes of stopping the riots. You see that mayor over in Seattle? That chief, that police chief, that black female police chief, she didn't want to stop this. She was forced to. They told her to stand down. It goes on to say here, affirmative action in the 1970s and onward was started to give preferential treatment to blacks with student loans, mortgages, college admission, health care, and a host of other things. It was not successful. It caused more harm as opposed to helping blacks. It lowered the standards for people based on skin color, which gave rise to a near permanent welfare class. Reparations would far no better. I'm going to link this article in the description box. I want you to see this. It's by Larry Elder. It's really good. People have got to wake up. You've got to wake up. You've got to see what's going on out there. This is far worse than what you ever can think or imagine. This is far worse. And guess what? Once the church is gone, it's going to get worse than that. He's got in here the truth about systemic racism in America. And this is off of his show, the Larry Elder Show. I think a lot of you are not familiar with Larry Elder. He's a black conservative voice. He's a right wing. He says, with the Democratic presidential party campaigns going full stream, a number of candidates have argued that systemic racism has influenced America since its foundation. Now, what he's done, he takes a look at former President Obama and his transition from saying that race wasn't important to fully embracing identity politics. Larry also looks further into how disadvantaged black Americans truly are and finds some interesting information. It's a good read. It's a good video is good. I will be back on later. I wanted to give you this. This is what's happening right now. This is what's happening right now. Nobody owes me nothing. Nothing. I owe Christ my life for what he did at the cross. And I believe in that. What happened in the past is the past. Thank God that Christ's death, burial, and resurrection has forgiven my past sins, my present sins, and my future sins. They're all under the blood. My only faith is in the blood. Not what happened in the past. And like I said, I've never really had a problem with racism anyway. But since I am a child of God, race don't exist with me. I'll leave this article in the description box. Have a good day.